Finish it Friday. Whoop, whoop. All right, number 4, 1. So we're working on Molly, and she is the hippiest of hippies. I'm trying a new angle, so let me know how it looks, and let me know if you can hear me. I also am using my new music. I'm really close to the microphone right now, so you can probably hear me really well. All right, as soon as someone jumps on, let me know how it's going, if you can hear me, if the music is too loud, if it's not loud enough. I'm gonna be checking the chat, the comments on my big computer. All right, so this is the new angle we're using. I've got lots of fun colors that will be involved in this piece. I'm just gonna adjust my paint until I see someone on. Right. I planted some butterfly things in my garden, and I'm super excited. All right, I'm gonna tag some people because I know that they wanted to see this specific one. So if you get an invite from me, then we'll see what happens. I want to thank all of you for the people who voted. I got 18 votes. Might not seem like a lot to some of you, but that was a pretty good amount for me. Also, just the fact that I had like 5 new people who voted, so that's really important. Thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for voting. Even if you don't watch, it's always really cool to have you guys vote. And this one really got quite a few votes. I hope that I'm tagging those of you that actually voted for this one. I have a little list written down, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of waiting to get started. If you guys can let me know that you're on, say hello. That's always really helpful. My cat is actually playing with cat toys today. I feel like the world might end because he never does that. Yay! I see 1 viewer. Make sure you comment. All right. I'm gonna start up here in a second. My main thing is I really want to make sure that I know you guys can hear me. I'm working on getting a new microphone as well, so that should be fun. There's so many of you on my invite list that I see you and I know that you're supportive. I just want to thank you for that. And if watching live is not your thing, that is okay too. There's other ways that you can enjoy my art. I've been doing time-lapse videos and posting them. I also have started uploading these on YouTube. So if you want to watch them later, they will be up on there. I think there's only one that I haven't uploaded so far, so make sure that, all right. Yay. All right, I tagged some people. We'll see what happens. If any of you could please just give me a thumbs up or something that you can hear me, because now I'm sitting where I will be sitting for the rest of the, I was going to say duration, for the duration of this painting. Trying to get all special on you guys. Alright, I've got my royalty-free music in the background. I've got my paintbrushes. You might see me in and out of the frame every once in a while. Alright, so, like I always do, I'm going to start grabbing some brushes that look like they will be the size that I need. I really hope you guys can hear me. Alyssa, if you're on here, I hope your little kitty is going to be okay. You know, as people who are part of my sessions, we really get to know each other pretty well. We support each other in a lot of different ways. That's the best part of finding a community of people that enjoy each other. And it's not just about the art, you know, it's also about finding friends and being there for each other. Look at this, it's from my best friend. It's so cute. It's like, it was a little planter. It had a succulent in it. It had a succulent in it. And I killed it. I killed it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to start on, I feel really drawn to her clothing. I feel like it'll be easy to start there. And I want her to have some freaky colors, something not so natural looking. But that doesn't make sense because she's a very natural person. So we'll see what happens. You know, I always like to start on an area that seems simple and gets me into the idea of what I'm gonna do. I did get some cool new colors. Still need to buy black and white because I'm terrible. But I found, this is oil. That's not gonna help us. I found some paint stashed away in a different bag. So it might have been like a tiny blessing. So her symbol, they all kind of have symbols. And I feel like this symbol here, she's got a heart with a triangle. So we're just going to start there. These are eggplants. I guess I should tell you about it. MOLI is somebody who lives kind of on the go. But she settles down in the forest nearby a place that does a lot of, I guess what you would say, farmers markets. But she's hard to find. She's like off the path of the regular farmers market, so she's kind of like hidden within the forest. And she ends up building this beautiful adobe type hut. And, you know, the bottom is made of wood, and she's got branches for her doorway. But the top is made out of this ever-moving, organic, colorful bubble type material, almost like stained glass. And I haven't figured out why or how this is possible. It might have something to do with whatchamacallit later on, since he has magic that he does with bubbles. She has a few different trades. She makes dream catchers. And her dream catchers are super important in this story. And she also has this weird love for growing eggplants. And she does a lot of meditation. She also weaves rugs out of like recycled material. So when it comes to MOLI, and it's spelled MOLI, I think. Yeah, being dyslexic. So yeah, the best part here is really just she's in here meditating, and this is the outward of her. So it's kind of like this is reality right here, and then over here you have like her dream state, her meditative state. So we're gonna play a lot with these dream catchers, but I feel like I need to kind of go in. I'm not ready to solidify her here yet, so I will be doing it here. If you just hopped on, please say hi, but the main thing I need you guys to do for me is let me know if you can hear me, because I have a different setup, and I know I have the music in the background, and my mic on my phone is at the opposite end. So if you could just let me know that you can hear me and that it's not like muffled or strange, because I know some of you come on to hear the stories and I don't want you to miss out on it. I'm going to go ahead and put some yellow on my palette. You might actually be able to see some of my palette this time, which will be cool. I have some weird green that I've been using called dilly pickle. I really like it, so I'm going to throw some dilly pickle down. So right now we have yellow and green. She also gives me some strong red and red vibes, but I don't want to put too much red on her. Yay, thank you, Sharon. I really appreciate that. It's always like one of my fears where I'm like, what if they can't hear me? Yay. And I don't remember who you voted for. Let me look in my book. 3. So close. I believe yours was very close. Yeah, so almost. Hopefully you enjoyed this one as well. I appreciate you showing up. I know that you, like me, are a mom and you're busy, so it's great to see you here. So far we have yellow, kind of a weird red. It's not really my favorite red. It's got too much pink in it. It's just not the right red. It doesn't feel like a real red to me. We are using brilliant blue as well. So, and then I like to have my black and my white ready to tone down or tint. And some white here. Woo-hoo. Okay. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them out there. It's always good to be able to know what you guys are thinking, what you're interested in. Some of you come as other artists and you enjoy watching and maybe learning, I don't know. Some just like to be here for my background as their background, me as their background. So yeah, we're gonna now start painting. I'm gonna go through, I'll let you look at the arrangement. Too high. Yeah, this is the arrangement that I have going on here. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with kind of a round number 5. So, the best way to get this started, there's always that anxious moment of like, I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but that's okay. That's just part of the job. of creating art. I think the hardest part is just getting started. So I'm gonna go in with this dilly pickle, and I'm gonna add some white, quite a bit of white, just to get these little patches. She has patches on her elbow, both elbows, on her shoulders, which you can only see one because her luscious orange hair is taking over the other shoulder. I wanted the hair to really show the movement. We're gonna go in here with another, and then we're gonna play with the color. We're going to brighten it up a bit. We're gonna add some of that yellow just on the corner. Kind of wipe it in there. When I think about Molly, she's kind of really chill. Like I said, she reminds me of like old school hippie type. But she's also really smart, and I feel like she tries to hide her intelligence, which is interesting because I've actually known people who, you know, like to come across as someone who might not know as much. I don't know if this is for her, if this is a like a, what do you call it, defense mechanism maybe? I don't know what her background story is. So her background story will be really interesting, and I might figure it out as I'm drawing or as I'm painting this. A lot of my characters, I don't know much about them until I start going in and, you know, what do they wear? Why do they wear that? Where are they? Why is she hidden? Does she want to be mysterious? Is she like a hermit and she doesn't like to be around other people? I'm not sure. And, you know, do we want to make this heart red? I mean, that's what everybody would do, right? Is make it red. Maybe I don't want to make it red. Maybe I want to do something different. Do I want blue? Blue would be kind of cool. If we were doing chakras, it would be green. Green is more of the heart chakra. So, just going to, I need to learn how to share this video not only with you guys on my personal Facebook page, but Instagram. I would love to do it like simultaneously. So if anybody knows how to do that, go ahead and put that in the comments. If you know of a link that could tell me how to do that, or if that's even possible, I don't know. Go ahead and drop that in the comments. It's been a while since doing Finish It Friday, it feels like. I had to take a little bit of a break during some vacation time, which I'm very blessed to have. And then also I got to meet Debbie. And I know most of you who follow me obviously know Debbie, or at least know of Debbie. And there's a big opportunity coming up with Debbie and her little tribe of people. And it's going to be very epic. It's like once in a lifetime, life-changing type of stuff. So I'm trying to figure that out. It's something I would like to be a part of. And I think when we find these type of things, we tend to just say that we're not good enough, or we're not worth it, or, you know, there's no way I can do that. And I am lucky enough that I do have, you know, some finances to be able to do those type of things. And there's been so many times in my life that I've kind of ran away from things like that because I felt like I wasn't worth enough to do that. Or, this is the other thing, and some of you might understand this, I would feel like I wasn't adult enough to handle myself in you know, like doing things on my own. I've always had other people with me. As in, like, if I was going to travel, I'd have to have people with me, and I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. I get nervous doing those type of things, like traveling on my own. And I don't even mean like far away, even just, you know, kind of far. It is nerve-wracking. So I'm getting these colors on here. I'm actually really liking the blue. Trying to get Alright, so now that we know we have the blue, and this will be her symbol for a large part of the time. In the book, in the artwork, not every character that I make has a symbol. That's the wonderful Pippin. He likes to, we've been taking him for walks a lot lately, and so when people leave the house, he gets really mad because he wants to go for a walk really bad. Can you take him for a WALK? And we have to spell it, because if we say the word, he'll lose his mind. So a lot of times we have to spell it. He likes to whistle when he's upset. He's a barker. He's been a very good dog, though. He eats weird stuff. So I'm just going in with a smaller brush. I decided to do black, and I'm not sure why. At the moment, it's kind of reminding me of something from a video game called Kingdom Hearts. I know some of you out there know it. I'm looking for a thinner brush, and I'm not finding it, so I'm going to continue to look in some of these other. I even have a container of like leftover crazy brushes. So these are like all my bad brushes, crappy brushes. But sometimes I find the perfect one in here. So I'm going to have to go in with a really thin one, which can be slightly nerve-wracking and annoying, because a lot of times, like, it doesn't fit. It's like so tiny, you're like, it takes forever. But we're gonna use it so that we can really get into that black triangle and get those points. Hi, Linda. Yes, there's a lot of fun brushes. It's nice to see you on. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Feel free to ask questions or just keep watching. If you've got to go, that's okay too. I just appreciate that you said hello. We're going with a new angle today, trying to make sure you guys can see the whole piece and hear me at the same time. So I had one of the little friends that hopped on say hello and tell me that she could hear me, so that was good. We're working on MOLI right now, and I don't remember if you voted for her or not, but here she is. She's a particularly odd character. She's actually quite new compared to my other characters that have been around for over 10 years. Yeah, well over 10 years, because Lily's turning 11, and I started coming up with these characters probably like right when I found out I was pregnant with her. So they've been around for a while. Molly is slightly new. She came to me through a weird dream about walking through an eggplant field. I don't even know if they make eggplant fields, but who knows? Who really, really knows? Do they just have like fields of eggplants? I don't know. So, alright. Now I'm still feeling like something is missing here. I'm tempted to put an eye in the middle of it, but I'm not sure if that's exactly what it is. So her dream catchers are very special. They are not like the regular old dream catchers. If you hop on, say hello. It's always nice to know you're here. If you have questions, throw them in the comments. We're going to go ahead and do her little jumpsuit now. I'm not quite sure. So if you just hopped on, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this is the reality of her world. This is where she really is, where she lives, what she's doing. This is her in that meditative spot. So there's not two of them. There's not like twins or anything. This is her meditating, and this is where she's at in that meditation. So I might make this super crazy busy and throw in a bunch of weird lettering, like my language that I write. So we'll see. The trees definitely need some help. In my dream, there was this crazy wooden chair with like tufted fabric in the middle of the eggplant field. I love how this eggplant turned out. I'm going to have to try and make these look the same. And I'm not sure if this is good enough, which I tell you guys not to say that, but you know, sometimes you want things to be different. Let's just go ahead and change that crazy song. Goodness gracious. So I just complained, well not complained, I asked the people who were part of the royalty-free music that I bought. I was like, hey, you guys don't have playlists. I was like, I can put on like a song and it just skips to like other songs, but it doesn't give me a playlist. I'm struggling with the color, that's why I haven't done anything. I really don't know what color to make her jumpsuit. Take a moment. Alright, two colors are jumping out at me. Neither one of them makes sense. Oh, I just got a third color. Okay. So the first color that came to mind was black, which might be kind of interesting, and I'm kind of into it. But I feel like that's too bold of a color for her meditative self. And I feel like yellow was the second, but that's too bright and too close to these patches. So the third color that came up for me was gray. And I actually think I kind of want to play with that, even if it ends up being just a base. I feel like it would kind of help, because during meditation, you know, you're supposed to really get that that like let things pass by vibe. So I'm gonna go in and start doing some of the gray. I'm gonna try to make sure my head's not in the way. It's almost got a purple tone to it for some reason. I'll have to go in and kind of redo her hair again too. But yeah, so they don't have playlists for this royalty-free music. Like I can download it and add it to things, like my videos and whatnot. But if I try to put it on just as a playlist in like the background music, it like goes through all different kinds. So like all of a sudden it'll be playing country or rock and roll, and then it'll go into like meditative, like Zen stuff. And it really makes it hard for me to focus on my artwork because all of a sudden I'm like, wait, you just changed the mood into something totally different. So I messaged them and I was like, you know what? Your website is pretty expensive for you guys not to have like a playlist feature. And I might not have even gone with your website, but I also was nice. I was like, you guys do a great job. I love the music. This has been a good experience. And so, of course, they told me that they were on it. That they were working on having a playlist feature. And I was like, good, email me when you have it. Like, I didn't spend all that money for you to not have this, because this is the main reason why I got it. Because if I don't use royalty-free music while I'm doing my Finish It Fridays, and both on Facebook and YouTube, it will mute me, and or it'll even like delete my videos. So I figured royalty-free was the way to go. And of course I'm stubborn. I didn't like any of the stuff that you don't have to pay for. It was too cheesy. This is pretty big though. So just going in with this nice gray to kind of give me a feeling. I actually really like it. I'm gonna have to mess with the colors here though, because these are really muddy and gross. This piece is from a long time ago. I don't even know the year in which I started this piece. How rude, changing your vibe all willy-nilly, right? Like, come on, people. What are you doing? But see, I like this one. I'll turn this one up a little bit. See? This song right here is the perfect vibe for MOLI. And then all of a sudden it goes into like punk rock, and you're just like, wait, what? You can't go from this to punk rock. So I didn't make enough of this gray, so that means I'm gonna look at that. Went in with a darker color. Woo! Okay, so we're gonna have to balance this out because it doesn't make sense. So keep in mind, if you really like a color that you're painting with, make enough of it. Because if you don't, then you gotta go in and try to remix it. For some people, they're pretty good at remixing. For other people, it's torture. And that's okay. If you're the person who feels like it's torture, it's just something we gotta work on. It's one of those challenges. You're like, challenge accepted. Hi, Pearl! No worries. Pop in for as long as you can. It's great to see you. We're just working on MOLI today. Wonderful little hippie girl who works, you know, in a farmer's market. She ends up becoming friends with Fogpot and helping him on part of his journey. It's gonna be an interesting ride with this girl. She makes extremely special dream catchers, and she likes to, you know, plant eggplants. We'll see what happens. So, when it comes to figuring out your characters, I think we put too much pressure on ourselves. The best thing to do is just, and it's hard for some people. I know that not everybody can paint the way I do. And that's why I try not to teach the way I paint, but to teach the way I approach my paintings. Because for me, it's all very emotional and mental. And then the actual painting part is very intuitive, and not everybody paints like that. And I think a lot of times when we watch people who paint, they speak as if the way they do it is the only way to do it, and I hate that. There's a million different ways to paint. There's a million different ways to learn how to do something like that. And I think when we cap it out as if as if there's only one way, I think we're really hurting a lot of other people and scaring them off from giving themselves a chance to learn how to do it. It may sound cliche to say that, you know, art comes from within inside, but it totally does. It's kind of like our subconscious hanging out with us, letting us know things. Just to speak a little bit on the sessions, if you guys are a part of them, I'm working on a new calendar with things, people going back to school, both adults and children, with people going back to work, finding new jobs. There's a lot going on, so I really want to make sure that my session calendar works out for people so that they truthfully have a chance to join. So I have put up a survey in a couple different places. If you would like the survey, go ahead and go in the comments and just comment survey, and I'll send it to you. That way you guys can tell me what days work best for you or your kids or both. I know I have a couple people who are signed up for both, adult and children. Sad to say, I think the family sessions that happen on Sundays are no longer going to be available. Art is like meditation, Linda. I agree. The family ones just weren't really taking off enough for me to put that time out there. But some exciting news that I want to tell all of you is I have set up my studio a little different, and I'm going to be doing super small, intimate sessions in person. So if you live locally, let me know that you want to do such a thing. I'm also going to be looking into teaching homeschool, so homeschool art, becoming a vendor. We'll see how that goes. I know it can be complicated, but I just really want to open up a little bit more and get some face-to-face. That's fine, Linda. If you don't have your fall schedule, just hit me up when you can. I'm guessing that the session times are probably going to stay pretty close to what they already are. I might have to move them a little later, just because people won't be home from school or work until a little later nowadays, I guess. But then I also have people that are 3 to 4 hours ahead of us over here. And I know who they are, so I will be flexible for them. So we'll figure it out. Especially for people who are subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing. That really is how, it really does make an actual paycheck for me. Because it's a monthly thing I can count on. So if you can subscribe, you get a lot of great things that are just for you, and also you get discount, a big discount for being that subscribed. Okay, so as far as what's going on with her outfit, I'm gonna outline just a little bit. I'm probably not gonna keep this dark outline, but I need to be able to see where the elbows are so that I can shade it correctly. And then I'm gonna take my hard, yucky flat brush, and I'm going to just rub the outline a little so that it blends in but keeps that hard line. That way you have kind of like a shadow effect. Another thing that I like to do is to explain things as if I don't have an art vocabulary, because there are people here who want to learn and they might not know, you know, what certain things mean, and I don't want them to feel like they can't watch or learn just because they don't have the lingo for it. So I really just describe it however I feel is best, in a way that works for a lot of people. You know, being self-taught, I went to school for some things, but really a lot of this stuff I taught myself. I did learn a lot from Jeff Soto at one point, and Nicole Green. They were both great teachers at RCC, and working with them really helped me out a lot. So I can't say that it's all just something that came from me. I think it all grows, you know, step by step. Like it unravels itself into what it needs to be. So I'm gonna go in here and put a little bit of this white that's gonna scare you. It's gonna be like, why are you doing that? But I want to add shape to her leg. And even this freaks me out because I don't necessarily, I'm not the best at figuring out where my lighting is. So I kind of go with the flow, which I know it could be better. I know that it might honestly be better if I learned more about shading and lighting. But I go with the flow for right now, and it works for me. I'm sure that there's some people who would feel like it would be better if I had my lighting more realistic. And maybe I'll work on that someday, but for right now I'm happy where I'm at. That could be the stubborn part of me. As artists, we're not always going to follow the rules. Some of us hate rules. Some of us break the rules just so that we can figure out what our art is. So don't be afraid to be you. That's the whole point, is learning how to do things in your own way. That's what I'm here for when it comes to the sessions. That's what people enjoy about it, is I teach them to do this without judgment. And it's really hard not to judge yourself when it comes to art, because art is looked at having to go step by step or learning certain ways. And I think that that's why a lot of us say, I'm not an artist, or I can't be an artist, because you're unable to take on your own identity and your own style and structure. And that's like something that could make you feel like you're being suffocated, and you might never reach your true potential because of that. So I say do crazy stuff, okay? Like, do something that doesn't make sense. Look up a different style, look up a different technique, and figure out if that's something that resonates with you. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit more with this, I almost call it a logo. I guess it would be. this heart of hers. Wow, that came out way thicker than I wanted, guys. But we're just gonna go with it, because if we panic, it's only gonna get worse. Alright, that was a little better. Thank you for all of you that have showed up so far. If you are not able to make it, no big deal. This is something I do so that I finish my work, and something I do so the people who, you know, don't take sessions and want to enjoy some of my tips or conversations or thoughts or techniques. This way you guys get a little taste of it. The sessions that I hold are also about community, because a lot of us just need a tribe that feels the same way, and somebody that, you know, a group you can talk to and laugh with about how ridiculous our artwork is sometimes. So you guys know that I'm bad about outlining. Here it goes. Alright, so I don't know, I just feel like things look so much better when they're outlined. Maybe I did too many coloring books as a kid. Yeah, I outline things, want to fight about it? It is what it is. Alright, so as you can see, she doesn't really have feet at this point. And I feel like she's in like a little gray onesie. So I usually just go straight down like this and do like a little cuddly foot thing. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some feet over here. I might have to adjust that line though. It doesn't really make sense. So this is me going off the cuff, just like pants by the seat of my pants kind of thing. And I might hate it, and we might have to paint over it. But, wow, weird. The paint's not sticking to this part of the canvas. Sometimes your materials might fight with you, and that's when you really have to decide, like, what's going on. So as you see, I'm really messing up things with the way it was. Kind of readjusting things, which means I'm going to have to change the lighting and the shading that I did. But that's okay, because we're going to see if it's what we want. So I'm going to pretend like her leg goes all the way over here, and that's her little foot. And this right here will be the leg that goes underneath. So we're sitting crisscross here. She's doing her little meditative seated position. Proportions are also something that I struggle with. It's like my brain does not always understand how long one thing is. Like if this leg is, let's see, if this leg is this long, then this leg should also be that long. Hey, I wasn't too far off. Yay! Make sure you celebrate the little things. Those little moments where you're like, I did it! I've always struggled. Someday, guys, someday when I do an actual, like, real nice hand, I'm gonna throw like an actual party. His hands are the worst. Okay, so she's got her little onesie footies sticking out here. I'm gonna pick up some of that white that we were playing with earlier. Ooh, it's sticky. I gotta get some new white paint, guys. I think I've been saying that since I started. We're Finish It Friday. I almost said word splurge. So if you don't know, word splurge is something that I do in order to write my book or any of my stories. It's a group where you get to meet up and on Zoom and do your writing. Kind of holds you responsible for doing your writing, which is important for anybody who knows how hard it is to write, which, by the way, I didn't realize how long it took to make a book or edit and publish. Next time you guys pick up a real book, like, be grateful to that author for the fact that they actually finished it. As an artist, I know how long things take, and people are always like, oh, that should be cheaper, and you're like, dude, I spent a really long time on it. But when you talk about somebody who writes a book, my word, they really do spend years on it. It's quite crazy. And that's why it's not okay to steal books for art. All right, looking pretty good. She kind of looks like she's from outer space. Oh, folks, we've got an outer space hippie. Definitely not the vibe I was going for. Sometimes as soon as you step back, like I'm sitting further back, she looks like she's in a spacesuit. How are we gonna fix that? I think we're just gonna have to wacky it up. Like patches or stripes. You know, I'm a sucker for stripes on the legs. Change the color a little bit, maybe add some pops of color, because it really does not fit. And it's because I did it gray. But like I said, when we first started, I was like, if this doesn't work, it'll be a base coat. So, I think I'm gonna go in with some of that really weird dilly pickle color. And I'm gonna kind of dry brush it almost over the top. That already looks a little bit better. You know, when it comes to getting through the ugly stage, and when people say there's an ugly stage, there truly is. There's going to be that moment where you look up and you think, what the hell is this? And you're going to realize it makes no sense. You're going to feel like it looks like trash. You're going to want to give up. It's going to be one of those moments that you're just like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. I'm not an artist. I can't make this. This goes in the trash can. But truthfully, I've learned that part of the ugly stage is building up the layers that you need for the, like, I'll call it a pretty stage, for the correct thing, for it to be what it's supposed to be. Because what's happening right now is, even though that gray looked awful, didn't fit the aesthetic, as I put this top coat on, it's gonna pop out more than it would have if I put this over white. If I would have just painted the dilly pickle color over white, that's fun to say, dilly pickle, over the white, it would not have so much color to it, so much beauty. And that's where we learn it is okay to make those mistakes. Now, I am going to go in and put stripes on her legs because it's part of my style, it's part of the aesthetic of what I do in a lot of my artwork. I'm not sure why. I know that when Lily was little, she used to walk around in like these little striped cotton pants, and she had those cute chubby legs and her little diaper butt, and it was pretty much the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I got obsessed with the idea of these little striped legs, so that could be part of it. Little experiences in your life where you look at something and you think, man, I really like that, even if it's weird, even if it doesn't make sense. Those things are the things that you put into your artwork that build up a style. Okay, so when I do these stripes, we need to make sure we curve it a little bit so it like makes sense as to this being a leg. Because if we were just to make them straight, it wouldn't make sense. I'm going in with the yellow that I had on the palette from the beginning. I don't like it so far. Like I said, the ugly stage can last quite a while. It's not just going to go away out of nowhere. You're going to have to deal with it. I think I need more stripes here. Looks a little bit better. I see there's a few people on. It's awesome that you're here. Feel free to say hello. You don't always know who you are. It doesn't always tell me. See, I like that a lot more. And we're going to put a different color on the shirt. And I'm going to let these stripes kind of blend in a little bit. And then I'm going to go in and make the stripes obvious. So we put the dilly pickle down, which is more of that like crazy, literal pickly green. And then I put the yellow over the top. I'm going to go in and I'm going to throw down some white. Throw it down. This white has gotten even worse. I'm going to take a really junky brush to pull it out because it is so incredibly thick. It's like picking up gum off of under a table or something. I wouldn't recommend painting with extremely old white paint. I really wouldn't. But you know what? Sometimes you do what you gotta do. And for right now, my horrible memory of remembering to order paint is making me deal with it. So I'm gonna go with another tough beat up brush, kind of a square brush, and I'm gonna load it up. Loading it up means putting a lot of paint on it and then wiping it off again so that there's almost nothing there. And I'm going to start defining some of these stripes a little bit. And it might be a little too much. I gotta be careful with this one because it would be a little shadowed on that part, since it's under the other leg. I'm going to add some of this lighter color to the knee patch as well. And maybe even over here. Alright, that's not too bad. It's looking a little bit better. She kind of looks like she's got bumblebee stockings on, which would be super cute, so maybe I'll go that direction. And keep in mind, I also used to hate when I couldn't fully fill in, the canvas, that it would show colors underneath. Like I wanted it to be really solid. But now I've learned that having some of those colors show up under the other colors really gives it more of those layers. So we'll see what happens. I'm glad that this one won, to be honest. I've wanted to work on her for such a long time now. Oh, my head's in the way. I'm sorry. Sometimes I wish I could put something on her where you guys could be like, move out of the way! Cool. Now I'm going to do something that will frighten all of you. And I'm gonna get a rough brush, add some of that light white color, and I'm going to go straight down the middle for highlight reasons. Woohoo! I gotta get my head out of the way. Maybe I'm gonna move this over. Does that help? I think that'll help. Okay. Long brush. Gonna go and try to add some of the black. I hope you guys are all having a pretty good or awesome, you know, don't have to shoot for the highest thing in the world. Pretty good or awesome Friday. I don't know if I like that. Sometimes I notice right away if I feel like I've made a bad call, bad mistake on things. And sometimes I don't notice till after I've laid it down. If I notice right away, I'll do one of two things, which will be change my mind immediately and fix it, which I like to say adjust it more than fix it. Just because I feel like fixing it makes it sound like you did a bad job. Experimenting and trying an idea out is fine. It's not like a mistake. And I'm not sure if I like that or not. So, my head's still in the way. My goodness. Okay. I wanted to look kind of bumblebee-ish, but I feel like that was too dramatic. So, I'm gonna knock the color down a little bit by kind of mixing that, I think. Now they're looking more like gray stripes, but that's fine because I think it still comes across the way it needs to. Now what do we do with the shirt? This has really turned out to be quite an interesting dilemma. That's one of the reasons why it's really hard to pick up a piece of work that you've worked on and haven't finished, because you were in a different mood, you were in a different world, you were probably even a different person when you first started it, and now you're going in and trying to finish it, and your skill level is different, your mood is different. Ooh, I got shaky hands today. Alright, let's take a quick little tea break. Yummy. Okay. So she has a bumblebee bottom. You know what? Should I put this in here? Let's see. It's some pickle Billy pickle. And you know, her pants technically would go here. You know what I mean? Like her shirt would be right there. So let's see if what we need to do is, oh no, I lost my paintbrush. Do you ever have paintbrushes just flat out disappear on you? Probably not. It's probably just me. Is it in my hair? Alright. Somebody took my paintbrush. Must have been the gnome. I'll use this one then. No, I won't, because that's too soft. It's not this one, is it? No. Where did it go? Send reinforcements. probably staring right at it. It was that little crazy one. Alright, well, moving on. I don't have all day to hunt down a paintbrush that I all of a sudden can't find. So technically I think this area would be darker than what I'm making it right now because it's kind of in a shadowed area. So I'm gonna have to go in and figure out how to do what I keep saying, which is knock it down. Bring the dark to it. I feel like this top band has to be black for sure. Like the top band of the pants. I'm gonna have to make myself some bumblebee yoga pants. Alright, so don't forget to dry off your brushes. Sometimes they're so wet that they really just kind of ruin stuff. Okay, so I think that looks okay. I'm looking at it from far away. It's not the best. I think I need to fix that pant line still because it probably would dip a little bit more like this, which I didn't really do. Yep, you literally just saw me make a last minute, just like random choice that I was gonna go in and add the black into the shirt to darken it up and see if maybe black will be the winner of this shirt, which I'm really feeling it now. It just doesn't go with the storyline. So part of me wants to throw some blue. My brain is thinking about clouds. Just that idea of being in the meditative state. Maybe even making her shirt white over top of the black. I don't know. It's okay to be clueless. It really, really is. Because some of our best work comes from us, like, experimenting and having no freaking clue what we're doing. And I do need to figure out how to make her skin color again, which might need new water. So I might have to walk away to get new water in my bucket. So once I get warmed up and less scared of my piece, I really start going in and doing crazy stuff that makes no sense. So that's where the intuition comes in, I guess. That moment where I'm like, I'm gonna make this blue. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this color in here, even if it doesn't make sense. Again, it's part of the layering process. I don't know why I wanted that to be blue. It does look kind of cool though. I don't know. It's just the way things happen when I paint. You know, have you ever done a project and just instantly decided you were going to go a completely different direction? Like maybe you were driving somewhere even, and like all of a sudden you were like, I'm going to turn down this road because it looks really cool and I want to know what it is. I want to know where it goes. Those type of curiosity moments are really important in art because that might lead you to something that you never expected to find. Alright, so the shirt is picking up yellows, it's picking up that blue from the heart, the same blue color. There's green being introduced now because of those colors mixing. Make sure you sit back away from your work. I'm really bad about getting as close as possible, which is why you guys keep seeing my head. Something needs to happen with that triangle. Just not sure what yet. The shirt is still missing. Hey, I found that paintbrush I was looking for. Seriously though, guys. That's when you know that you might need to eat something when you lose your paintbrushes. Alright, here we go. Dry brushing right over the top of all those colors with a lighter color. And it's going to make those colors pop out in a different way. Now the canvas texture almost makes it look like she's like got some snake skin stuff going on. And I don't know if I like that either. She keeps going from like this beautiful hippie chick to like she was like a space astronaut type thing just a bit ago, and now she's starting to look like she's wearing snake skin. I don't know what's going on at the moment, but we're gonna just keep going and hope it makes sense. And you know what? This could be one of those moments where I realize I don't have an answer and I'm gonna have to come back to it. But instead of like quitting the whole piece, that's where I jump into the feeling of just going to a different part of the piece. Because sometimes it'll hit me during working on that other part. So don't be scared to switch to a different part of your piece. Like, you don't have to stay in one spot. I actually find it a lot easier to figure out what I want when I'm jumping around the piece. Some people even stick with one color that they're using and do all of that color on the area that they want. But I really think, what am I gonna do with that? I think you need to change the color of the rug quite a bit. She's looking pretty good though. I could be a little too harsh on her just because I don't know her that well. I'll back up for a minute. It's actually not too bad. I think I know what I want to do. It's all coming to me. Okay. So, I really need this white to do better. So I'm gonna wet it down a bit here. It's almost like watercolor, just because you have to get it super wet for it to work. Gonna get some white. I feel like some stars might be a good idea. So I'm gonna wipe this white off and get a teeny tiny itty bitty teeny weeny itty bitty 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 brush and see what I can come up with. I'm gonna start off by putting dots in places. And just really getting some dots in there, and then I'm gonna start putting my husband is watching something wild right now. So soon I will have more time to do things because Bubba is starting kindergarten, which means like interesting to have both of them gone for such a long period of time. Hopefully that means I'll be able to get, you're looking at my head again, sorry. Hopefully that means I'll be able to get some more artwork done and up. If you guys are interested in purchasing some original artwork. I really haven't gone to the point of making prints because people don't buy them from me. It's not like a thing that happens very often. So if that's something that you want, please let me know, because with Alistair going back to school and so on and so forth, I have some, big money goals that I need to make, and this being my job, those are some of the things that I need to know. What you guys want, what you guys like, hopefully the starting holiday fun at some point when that all starts to happen. I'm trying to keep my head out of the way, guys. So what's happening now is that I am adding an eye to the black triangle. I like her shirt a little bit more now, but it still doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. This is just going to be one of those tough paintings. And that's okay. Getting that eye in there. Probably quite hard for you to see way up there. I will take pictures of it closer up after I'm finished with my with this. Gonna give it some eyelashes just so that it looks a little bit more eye-like. And then I'm gonna go in with that blue that we played with in the beginning, and I'm actually gonna put it in the pupil. So it looks okay. Like I said, I know you can't really see it very well from way up there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this line right here, and I'm gonna add some stitching. Cool. Not too bad, guys. We got something done. It's now 11:08. So I'm gonna move this over, and I'm gonna go get some new water really quick. Hang in there, and I'll be right back. Ooh, needed to stretch my legs anyway. Super quick, teeny tiny little break. Once I get into the brighter colors, I used a lot of black on that last part. The muddy water will actually muddy up your colors as well. So we don't want that to happen, especially because colors are what I love the most. So I think I know what I want to do with the carpet, but I'm not ready to do that yet. And I have to decide if this part of her outfit is going to be same or different. I'm going to go ahead and start working a little bit on this piece here, this dream catcher, things are eluding my mind. Names are eluding my mind. You know you're getting hungry when your brain is like, I don't know what that's called. Alright. Here we go. So, I've always wanted to learn how to make dream catchers, but they seem super difficult if you were to do them the real way. Now, part of that is because I do not do well with like any type of string art, like yarn art, knitting, crocheting. I kind of can do cross stitch a tiny bit, but I'm pretty lost when it comes to stuff like that. So I do struggle with that. I promised myself someday I would learn how to do it. Dream catchers have always been a really big thing for me personally in life. I'm not necessarily sure why, but I do know that I'm going to get, at some point, I'm going to get some dream catcher, like a dream catcher set to go above my headboard. They have some really cool ones on Etsy. They're expensive though, but of course they are. That's hard work. So for right now, what you're watching me do is just kind of placing the string onto the appropriate spaces. It's really hard to see the white because of the background. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to make that work. I couldn't make this area darker because it would blend in with this too much, and I wanted this to really stand out. Aurora Borealis type stuff going on up here. So we'll see what we have to do to make this a reality as far as this dream catcher goes. And because my white is not being the nicest, it's gonna look a little strange. I kind of have this urge to throw a, how they said aura, I really want to throw a strange color into the mix. And I need a fatter brush. We're going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work. Remember, like I said, I go with whatever my brain is like, hey, let's do this. And I'm like, what? Really? We're switching gears right now? Yes, let's do this. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start smearing some of this gold in the background so that it kind of has more of that dreamlike feeling to it. Continue to separate the reality from the meditative dream state on this side. And I'm sure it's hard for you guys to see the gold because I'm guessing that it doesn't reflect well on the camera. But all I'm doing is adding a little bit of gold paint to this section here. I really want it to seem magical. I'm even gonna put some on her outfit, a little bit on her face. There's those moments where you're like, I gotta make it show that it's different. And this is what it was for me, is adding this gold. I also want to toy with this color, which is a metallic dark blue called Blue Sapphire. Sapphire! Sapphire is my birthstone. Do you guys like your birthstone, or is it something that you don't like? I know a lot of people that don't like their own birthstone. think Lily's is peridot, and I really, really like peridot. And
I'm August, so whatever August is.
I think the peridot. And then Alistair is opal, which is one of my favorites as well. So it's kind of cool. My kids have like my favorite birthstones. So now I'm kind of going over the white that I just did, which might seem counterintuitive, but you know what? I'm just doing what my brain is telling me to do. So we'll see how this turns out. I keep looking back behind me at the camera too because it helps me see it from a different perspective. You guys are further away over there. So when I read comments and stuff, it comes from behind. I'm adding some purple down here. I think I might even add some of this metallic purple to these eggplants so they seem more mythical, mysterious, magical. This purple is going to go in between these trees for sure though. And I'm going to mix the purple and gold down here at the bottom. Maybe we should play with all the metallic colors. I have blue, I have pink. Let's go crazy with it. Maybe not. Okay. So it's not getting in the crevices here, so I'm just really gonna beat it up a little bit. I'm even gonna take some actual solid blue, mix it with my white, mix it with my purple, water it down, and use it as a nice little watery glaze type thing. And I think this brush is not helping me, so I'm gonna switch. As soon as you realize, because it might help you in the beginning, but then all of a sudden it's not working in the same way, it is okay to switch it. You don't have to do the painting with one brush. See, this hard one is really filling up this circle. Ooh, and I just got a new idea. I'm telling you guys, you know, if you're doing art, it takes anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour or so for you to really start getting that connection to the painting to where it makes sense. Can you guys still see? Okay. I'm gonna do something that was one of the things that I kind of taught myself how to do, I guess you would say. I'm gonna get this paintbrush wet and I'm going to just flick some water onto it and let it sit there for a minute. I'm gonna fill in, even though I have this already full, I think I'm going to fill it in with the yellow and white dilly pickle, because I think I really like that idea of these solid. So her dream catchers are special, as I've told you guys before. And the reason that is because they are a pathway to the dream world. So if you need to go to the dream world, which is a big area in my book, where people work, people live, like it's a thing. There's only a few ways to get there, which is a portal that's almost impossible to find, and these dream catchers, which if you're not in the right place at the right time, how are you going to find Molly? She hides. And she also seems like somebody who Doesn't need help from anybody. I need a paper towel. Okay. We've been using less paper towels in the world, which is awesome, except for when I need to use it for my art. Thankfully, I think I have some stashed here somewhere. So now that the water's been sitting there for a while, I'm gonna place the napkin down onto the area where I splattered the water, and pick the water back up. Look at that! Woohoo! That's what I did over here. So I really like how it looks. It's something that I've done in a lot of my artwork. I feel like it looks very magical and fun. Start using this towel. Don't be scared to use your towels to kind of add dimension and whatnot. Rub in this green a little. Alright, we got the yellow there. I don't think I'm going to do the same thing. I don't feel like it's needed. Ooh, look at that red go down on top of that yellow. That's kind of nice. Alright. Gotta keep the eye on the time, because Bubba gets out. Woo! Check that out. Look at the ugly colors coming up out of there. You know, muddy colors can really suck, but sometimes, like what's happening right now, I feel like that muddy color is really enhancing the shape of this piece. And I'm not going to fling water on it like we did last time. I'm just going to almost blot the entire color off and then rub it back in. So that one's almost kind of see-through, but you can really see it there. This one almost looks like an earth of some kind. I'm liking that. So some of the options that we have here are throwing down colors in the middle of the smaller ones as well. I don't think I'm going to do it with this one because this is really too close to the reality part of this piece. I'm going to keep it right here. Something will need to be laid down here to make that barrier make sense. And this rug needs to be dealt with for sure. And her hands. So it's good to stop and kind of analyze the work and decide what's really going on. And I don't usually use my big fat brushes that much. You guys see me with the little ones all the time. But I do have thicker, fatter ones. And I do use them sometimes. It's okay to be nervous to start using new pieces. And if you're scared to lay it down on something you've already been working really hard on, like this piece that I'm doing now, do it on a different piece of paper, or well, do it on the same background medium. So if you're working with canvas, try it out on another canvas. Because it's not going to be the same with one type of medium type thing. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of cool. Maybe we'll do some like, whoa. Alright. Nope. Change my mind. I like the direction. I like the way that line looks. Okay, maybe I just need to figure it out in a different way. When you're finding weird new techniques, or when you make a brush stroke and it speaks to you in a way that you're like, wow, that really changed up the painting, but it's not flowing well, you have two choices. Play with it or walk away. I say play with it because you might not remember to do it again in a different time, or you might never get to learn what potential that strange mistake can give you. What I'm liking about it right now is it's feeling very like organic almost. Like, this is quite odd. It's really giving me a bold line and giving me places to change the color up. You also have to make sure that you're in a space that if you get it dirty, you're not gonna freak out. Because if you're sitting there worried about your area getting dirty, you're not gonna be as bold as you want to be, or as you could be. So I bought this table specifically because, and it's a nice table, like it's not something most people would be like, oh, let me get a bunch of paint on it. But that's the point of it for me. The point of this table is to do my job. And if your job is messy, sometimes you just have to get over it. Right? You know I'm right. Because I really need to make this look like it's not reality, because I don't want it to be confusing to the viewer. Now, if they don't see what I see, if they don't pick up on the story, that's okay. But the story needs to make sense to you because it's your artwork. So if it isn't throwing off the type of signals that makes sense to you, you're not truthfully reaching that point that you want to be reaching. We can't run away from that, because that's the potential sitting there waiting for you. I'm really kind of liking this. This is interesting. Now I just have to figure out how far I want to go with it. And that can be really difficult. I'm always a too much person. Keep adding, keep adding. And there's a point where I have to remind myself, like, okay, maybe you're done now. And if that's you, give yourself grace. It's such a hard thing. Okay, not all of us are good at being simple. Simplifying things can be super, super hard for some of us. It's like, not just in my artwork, in life, I'm not good with simple. It's gotta have lots of color, lots of texture. It's gotta be all over the place. It has to have tons of meaning. Simplifying things just makes life feel boring to me, so I have a really hard time with that. But that's okay. You either find people who get it, or you don't. So I'm going in with, this has nothing but water on it, because I want to get some, like, remove the color, like these little white moments here. So removing the paint can be just as helpful as putting the paint down. Don't underestimate being able to rub the paint off. looking at my head again. I'm sorry. I need to move this. Hang with me. Whoa. And I can't tell what you're looking at until my computer catches up with my... Nope, that's no good. Alright, let me do this a different way. You guys are always so good at hanging in with all my weird little issues that happen. Debbie always says, like, even if it's messy, just do it. And I didn't really, like, I get that because that's how I do my art. But that's hard to do when you're trying to present yourself. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't do it messy. I can't do it all wrong. Like, but you know what? Truth is, mistakes happen. Learning curves are real. So, it is what it is. All right, hopefully that's better and my head won't get in your way. I think it should be, but we'll see. All right, so what we were doing is rubbing off some of the paint, which now that I walked away for a moment, might not be doable, which is fine. Maybe that was it. So that looks pretty cool. I'm really digging that. And that was a total accident. So let's let that be so we don't overdo it. I do want to try something else. It's been a quiet day today on Finish It Friday, which is fine. I will be uploading this to YouTube for those of you that might want to check it out some more. I'm only going to work for a little bit longer on this because I think my body is mad that I haven't eaten lunch yet. So I'll have to take a moment to do that. Now, how do I want to... So I'm going to go in with some purple. And I'm going to start making some cloud-like. We're gonna bring the dream world in here. Okay, just like how we got that in there, I'm gonna bring this up. It's gonna look like eggplants though if I'm not careful, because, or maybe the eggplants are part of the, ooh, what if the eggplants are part of the dream world thing? Like you have to have not only a dream catcher, but you have to have the eggplants. Maybe the eggplants are part of the material. I don't know. We'll have to figure this out. I'm interested to see which direction this is going right now. But I really, 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 really love that Northern Lights thing at the top. Talk about subconscious, Debbie. And I'm going to keep it going down here a little bit because it's got to look like it's not the reality, like it's this dream moment. And I want it to make sense for me. Even if it doesn't make sense to you, it has to make sense to me. If you see what I see, that's a bonus. If you don't, it's okay. We worry a lot as artists about whether like our message is coming across. And sometimes that is important, especially if it's a political piece, something to show, you know, rights and that thing. That is important, you know, and you'll figure that out. You'll you'll find ways to make that happen, to make that message very clear. But when you're doing character art, and it's just character for fun or for story or illustration, you have a little bit of wiggle room. Illustration might be kind of difficult too, though, because you're still trying to tell a story. Ooh, alright. So what's gonna happen is I'm rubbing off some of this color. I'm going for like cloudy, smoky type of look. So technically some of that background that I just painted over needs to show up underneath to make it really look more like a fog or a cloud. If your paint bristles get stuck in your painting, I'm sorry. Because it happens to me too and it's annoying. It depends on what type of paint you're using, I think. Hey, where'd my paper towel go? So now I'm just gonna kind of rub. Ooh, we want it to look foggy. Stuff like painting glass, fog, it's not easy. So take your time. You can look up how other people do it. You can practice on little pieces of your own thing. This one's not going to rub off as easily because I let it dry. But I think the background fog would be a little bit darker and less see-through than the front fog. Oh, it rubbed off better than I thought it was going to. There's still a very strange, like, alien feeling to this. Maybe I've been playing Fortnite too much. Alright, so, like I always do, I'm going to go in with some black and a little bit of white and see how it changes the look of this cloud type thing. Multiple colors, multiple layers. It always helps give it a different feeling. Is it misty fog? Is it clouds? Is it something that crawls? What color is going to be in the forefront, foreground, whatever? Do we want this color to be, head is in the way again? My goodness. Seriously, thank you for hanging in there, guys. I'm going to really go deeper in here with this color for some reason. Because it's what I want to do. Sometimes painting is really just what feels good. I think that's where like abstract stuff comes in, is like you're doing it and you're like, wow, this doesn't make any sense. It's so unreal. But it feels good to do it. And we can take pictures of reality, but to paint something that's like not a real thing feels pretty good sometimes. Ooh, added a little bit of black to that same purple color, that light purple. Just added a little bit of black to see what we could come up with on that. Slowly just adding a little bit more black, a little bit more white, going back and forth to get that texture of multiple layers of fog and smoke. Not too bad. Ooh. That was just straight white. It's getting a little too funky right there. I don't know if I like that. So I might have to go in. Getting more done on this than I thought I was going to. When we were first doing her outfit, I was like, oh no, this is terrifying. What am I doing? Okay, gotta change brushes. Don't get stuck on a brush. I do that a lot. Don't do what I do. I do that a lot where I start working with one brush and I start getting other ideas, so I start moving around on my canvas. And my other ideas that I'm working on the canvas are great, they're good ideas, but I'm still working with the same brush I was working with in the other areas, and it doesn't belong in the new area with the new ideas. So sometimes if your brain is going really quick, which I know some of my session stars have that problem where their brain is going super fast and they can't keep up with what they're doing, I really recommend learning how to switch. Like, if going quick gives you the ideas that you need and want, sometimes slowing down is not an option, and we just have to learn to have our materials ready for really moving around. There's times where I get a great idea, and if I don't have the right thing next to me, I won't change it, and then I'll lose the brilliance of that idea. So there are times when you just have to be ready. Now, being organized is annoying and hard to do, but once you get used to it, it can actually be kind of fun, and you can flow through those fast rushes of inspiration much better if you have the ability to do that, to just go from one thing to another. Now, I don't know if I like this yellow that I just added to the purple. I feel like it kind of do, but it's not quite what I want. As I look behind me at the big computer, I can see what it looks like from afar, which is very different from when I'm close up. And I kind of like it. It looks like there's like shine. I don't like this at all though. This needs to change. Don't forget, if you just put that color down, there's a huge chance that you can literally just get it wet and wipe it off. Acrylics are cool like that. It's getting super muddy and gross down here. This could be the point where you realize you're going too fast. It's just like this dance of trying to figure it out, to be honest. You can even put water on your paper towel if you needed. Alright guys, I'm really digging it. Okay. I think I'm done for now. My stomach is growling, so I should probably listen to the inner demon of my tummy and get this figured out. I'll be excited if you guys choose this one again. It's time for me to clean up my brushes and dump my water out because my cat will drink it even if it's paint water. I keep trying to tell her not to drink the paint water, but She doesn't listen. So yeah, this is what we've got so far. A lot more done than I expected, to be honest. When I started out, like always, I get nervous that I'm not sure what to do. This painting was definitely something that I've had the urge and want to do, but have been too nervous to pick it up, which is why Finish It Friday is awesome for me. And I want to thank you guys because you push me to suck it up and finish or start again. Like I said, I'll be placing this on my YouTube shortly. Sometimes it takes a little while for it to download. Also, if you want the survey so that you can tell me what days and hours are good for you for sessions, let me know. And remember, if you have watched this live, which I always keep note of who does, you guys have the opportunity to get first pick of any of the Finish It Friday artworks to buy the original. Small discount for those of you who are chatting it up on live with me. The perks of being around. And I feel like there's something else I need to say. Oh, new one-on-one sessions are right around the corner. They are bigger, better, and longer, and have so much more detail to them. They should be a life-changing package for you. So let me know if you're interested in that. You can just type one-on-one in the comments, and I will see you guys next Friday, and if not sooner. Bye.